I'm having a really hard time at this moment dealing with the topic of deception and manipulation. And I'm not that naive to not understand that, you're going to deal with some forms of manipulation, sophistry, deception in your lifetime at one point or another. But this particular kind of deception going around right now that's affecting us as a society is one that is more insidious and more depression making for those who pay attention enough to see it. And it causes a certain kind of depression for the world your children will have to grow up in. They're building this cage in which they and us will be living in. This kind of deception, it's not the kind of deception like omitting truth or I'm flat out lying to you and making you believe something that is not true. It's more forcing you to submit truths that you already know to not be true and false as truth, even though you know it's false. And it brings me back to that book 1984, George Orwell, where the main character was being interrogated by the Ministry of Truth, the government officials, and they were torturing him to make him believe that 2 + 2 = 5. And after being tortured for so long, eventually he told them 2 + 2 = 5, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough that the main character told them that he believes the lie. It's that he actually has to believe it in spite of knowing that it is not the truth. And that's the kind of torture I don't think people like myself, who not only just see things for the way they are or yearn to see things for what they really are, but can't help but do so. Like when things don't add up, you feel like there's something wrong, something's not there. When the bank account didn't ledger out the way you expected it to be, and makes you dig in and go through every single transaction to add it up and say, okay, this is how I got to this balance. People like that have to know the truth. What I'm saying, what's happening in society right now is you got people like that. I'd like to say I'm like I have to know the truth. I have to find the balance. I have to see the blueprints. Then you have those in the middle who just don't have the time, or just preoccupied, and they just, I'll look at it later. That's just too much for me right now. Overwhelmed, and I have a certain compassion for them. I don't excuse it, but I do have a certain understanding. I get it. You know what? You don't have time, so oh well. That's your loss. And then there are those who just completely are not interested in the truth, who will believe anything they're told. Like, for example, in July, in most places in the US, July is typically a hot season. But if the weather forecaster on your local news station came on and said, hey, welcome today on July 10th, it's going to be a snowy day with temperatures ranging in below 30.
Weather alert now, the biggest snowstorm in years.
I would doubt it immediately, but I'd still take the time to go roll the blinds back and look just for confirmation. Then you got those in the middle who will question it a bit. It would vex them a tad bit to say, it's July, there's no way, I don't know. And even they will go roll the shades back and say, well, it doesn't look like it's snowing. It's really nice out. It doesn't look like it's going to snow. And I mean, it is July. And these two categories of people will go out and continue their plans for the day as if it was a normal July day. Then there's those who would just sit there in their chair and take the information given to them as fact and wouldn't need any confirmation, wouldn't even take the time to get up and roll the shades back to see for themselves. They will sit there all day in that rocking chair, flipping the channels, just because the news told them that today, July 10th, it's going to be a snowy day with temperatures ranging in below 30s.
Well, that's what the meteorologists tell us.
Those kind of people are lost. There's nothing you can do for them. But those in the middle, that's where the fight is at. That's where this deception campaign is targeted. Because the two categories of people, the skeptics, the people who need evidence, And those in the middle will go out and perform all their day duties like it was a normal July 10th day in America. Barbecues, a little swimming, bike riding, birthday parties, a wedding, whatever, all summer activities. But those in the middle, this is where they would be attacked and allow their minds to be attacked. When returning home from a long summer days of activities, when the forecast was told to be
the biggest snowstorm in years.
When asked, how was it out there today? Some of them would be, hey, yeah, it was nice. I mean, it wasn't supposed to be, they said it was supposed to be snowing, but it was a nice day. It was fine. And they go on with the rest of their days, never tracing back to that day that they were told something that was statistically impossible in most cases. But they never track back to say, hey man, what about that lie? Never would want to look deeper into forecasting and weather patterns to see why would they tell me on July 10th that it was going to be temperatures comparable to those in January today. What was their motive for telling me a lie that I have just witnessed to be a lie because I was outside? Was it a mistake? Did they just have the data wrong, or were they just lying? Some people, that opportunity would cause them to start looking into things deeper. But a good majority of them will just go on about their business until the next time, August 10th. Typically a hot, seasonable day in the summer. And again, just like July 10th, the weather forecaster comes on and say, hey, today is going to be icy, snowy, and below 30 today. Do not go outside. It's going to be miserable.
Oh, yeah, Chef, that's for sure. Tomorrow night into Thursday as well.
People like me won't even bother looking outside this time around. Oh, fuck that. They full of shit. And go on about our day and take our chances. Those in the middle, maybe take a look out the window, but go on about their business and experience the same day that I experienced. Witness the second time that this absolute false forecast was made about today. They will go out there and experience opposite of what they've been told. But this time around, while they're outside the entire day, turn on the radio, the news is saying, it's a really snowy day out there. Be careful on the roads. You should go home. Stay inside. It's not safe outside.
Ice, like sleet, ice pellets that bounce on the ground.
The scary part is some of these people will be riding down the road looking at the sun shining, looking at people like me just swimming at the beach, fishing, riding bikes, kids playing in the streets. They're seeing it with their lying eyes. They're seeing it's an average August 10th day in America. But the news on the radio and every other station they turn to is saying
the biggest snowstorm in years.
There's a lot of ice out there. The roads are horrible. If you are outside right now, go home.
Oh, yeah, Chef, that's for sure.
And some of those people will be like, hey, it don't look like it's snowing. It doesn't look bad out here. I mean, I'm not seeing that. Looks like a nice day to me, and they'll continue on with their business. But there's a portion of that population will say, you know what, honey, maybe we should err on the side of safety and let's just turn around, call Carol and tell her we won't be able to make it to the wedding. And they'll go home. And the scary part is when they get home and ask, hey, how was your day? How was it out there? Oh man, it was bad. It was snowing, ice all over the road. It was so cold.
The biggest snowstorm in years.
Knowing that that's not what they really seen with their own two eyes. And that's the kind of deception we dealing with right now. It's not good enough to just sit in a chair and just take it on face value. Whoever these people are disseminating the information we gather and obtain, social media, news networks, what it appears to me is what they want is for that person to see and completely dismiss what they see and experience in real life for what they are being told their reality is. And I just gotta say, that's the scariest place for a free man to be mentally. Can your brain really process a lie like that? Are you able to look yourself in the mirror, something inside you telling you this ain't right or this isn't right? You're not even interested or willing to look into it a little deeper to confirm or maybe disprove your skepticism or maybe even confirm it. But to not look into it, to not pull the shades back and see for yourself. I don't know how you could not expect to live within a cage if you can't discern with your own two eyes. Believe what you see. And if you're not sure, fucking find out.